Hi. How are you? I can't believe what I'm confessing to you. I've been so isolated so long, I just wanted to be nice and live a normal life, but events kept forcing me to figure out ways to survive, smart enough to know what's going on, but helpless to do anything. No one took any notice of me.
Back. What kind of scandal?
Hundreds of them.
Like what? I'm genuinely curious about details.
I don't know. There's so many, I don't have the original material anymore. The Holy See and its position on the Vatican sex scandals.
Play it by ear.
The broiling one in Germany. I'm sorry, there's so many, it's impossible for any one human to read all 250,000, and not feel overwhelmed, and possibly desensitized.
Anything unreleased?
I'd have to ask Assange. I zero-filled the original. I'm a source, not quite a volunteer. I mean, I'm a high-profile source, and I've developed a relationship with Assange, but I don't know much more than what he tells me, which is very little. It took me 4 months to confirm that the person I was communicating was in fact Assange.
How'd you do that?
I gathered more info when I questioned him whenever he was being tailed in Sweden by State Department officials. I was trying to figure out who was following him, and why, and he was telling me stories of other times he's been followed, and they matched up with the ones he's said publicly. The investigating officers left the material unprotected, sitting in a directory on a centcom.smil.mil server, but they did zip up the files, a ES256, with an excellent password, so as far as I know it hasn't been broken yet. 14 plus jars. I can't believe what I'm telling you.
How are you feeling today?
I'm feeling a little better. I had a lot on my mind, keeping to myself.
Anything new and exciting?
No, was outside in the sun all day, 110 degrees F, doing various details for a visiting band and some college team's cheerleaders.
Is there a Baghdad 2600 meeting?
There's only one other person I'm aware of that actually knows anything about computer security. He's a SIGINT analyst, of course.
Is he the other one who pokes around the network?
No, as far as I know, he doesn't play around with classified networks, but I'm sure he's capable.
Then it stands to reason that you have at least 3 people who have some infosic knowledge. Does Assange use SAME or other messaging services? I'd like to chat with him one of these days about OPSEC. My only credentials beyond intrusion are that the FBI never got my data or found me before my negotiated surrender, but that's something. And my data was never recovered.
No, he does not use AIM.
How would I get a hold of him?
He would come to you.
I've never failed to get a hold of someone.
He does use OTR though, but discusses nothing OPSEC.
I cornered Ashcroft IRL, in the end.
He might use the ccc.de Jabber server, but you didn't hear that from me.
Gotcha.
Amazing how the world works. It's almost book-worthy in itself, how this played. Event occurs in 2007, I watch video in 2009 with no context, do research, forward information to group of FOI activists, more research occurs, video is released in 2010, those involved come forward to discuss event, I witness those involved coming forward to discuss publicly, even add them as friends on Facebook, without them knowing who I am. They touch my life, I touch their life, they touch my life again, full circle.
Life's funny. Random, are you concerned about CI/SIT looking into your wiki stuff? I was always paranoid.
SIT has no open investigation. State Department will be uber pissed, but I don't think they're capable of tracing everything.
What about CI?
Might be a congressional investigation, and a joint effort to figure out what happened. CIA probably took note, but it had no effect on operations.
The cables come from state?
Yes. State Department. I had 2 computers, one connected to SIPRnet, the other to JWICS. No, they're government laptops. They've been zero-filled because of the pullout. Evidence was destroyed by the system itself.
So how would you deploy the cables? if at all?
Oh no, cables are reports.
Ah,
State Department cable is a memorandum.
embassy cables?
Yes, 260,000 in all. I mentioned this previously.
Yes. Stored locally, or retrievable?
Be right back, Latrine. I don't have a copy anymore. They were stored on a centralized server.
Your endgame plan, then?
It was vulnerable as fuck. Well, it was forwarded to WL and God knows what happens now. Hopefully worldwide discussion, debates, and reforms. If not, then we're doomed as a species. I will officially give up on the society we have if nothing happens. The reaction to the video gave me immense hope. CNN's iReport was overwhelmed. Twitter exploded. People who saw knew there was something wrong. Washington Post sat on the video. David Finkel acquired a copy while embedded out here. Also reason as to why there's probably no investigation. I want people to see the truth, regardless of who they are, because without information, you cannot make informed decisions as a public.
I'm not here right now.
If I knew then, what I knew now, kind of thing, or maybe I'm just young, naive, and stupid.
What would you do if your OW WikiLeaks seemed in danger of being blown?
But I was a part of it, and completely helpless.
Sometimes we're all helpless.
Try and figure out how I could get my side of the story out, before everything was twisted around to make me look like Nidal Hassan. I don't think it's going to happen. I mean, I was never noticed. The CM video came from a server in our domain. And not a single person noticed.
CM?
Apache Weapons Team video of 12 July 07. Airstrike on Reuters journos, some sketchy but fairly normal street folk, and civilians.
How long between the leak and the publication?
Sometime in February. It was uploaded.
Uploaded where? How would I transmit something if I had similarly damning data?
Preferably OpenSSL the file with the ES256, then use SFTP at prearranged drop IP addresses, keeping the keys separate, and uploading via a different means. Funny thing is, we transferred so much data on unmarked CDs, everyone did, videos, movies, music all out in the open. Bringing CDs to and from the networks is a common phenomenon.
Is that how you got the cables out?
Perhaps. I would come in with music on a CDRW label with something like Lady Gaga, erase the music, then write a compressed split file. No one suspected a thing. Kind of sad.
And odds are, they never will.
I didn't even have to hide anything.
From a professional perspective, I'm curious how the server they were on was insecure.
You had people working 14 hours a day, every single day, no weekends, no recreation. People stopped caring after 3 weeks.
I mean, technically speaking, or was it physical?
There was no physical security. Everyone just sat at their workstations, watching music videos, car chases, buildings exploding, and writing more stuff to CD, DVD. The culture fed opportunities. Hardest part is arguably internet access. Uploading any sensitive data over the open internet is a bad idea, since networks are monitored for any insurgent, terrorist, militia, criminal types.
Tor?
Tor, SSL, SFTP. Oh, the JTF Gitmo papers. Assange has those too.
Read it? Anything else interesting on his table, as a former collector of interesting.com info?
I don't know. I only know what I provide him.
What do you consider the highlights?
The Guarani airstrike videos and full report, Iraq War event log, the Gitmo papers, and State Department cable database.
Not too shabby.
That's just me. I don't know about the rest. He hopefully has more.